It was an autumn night in New York. Alexander Vance, a titan of private equity, felt invincible. He had just closed a $2 billion deal. Walking through the city, he felt like a god among mere mortals. Then he turned a corner and saw him. A man wrapped in a thin, dirty blanket, huddled in a doorway. His eyes were not vacant, but calm. A calm that disturbed Alexander. The man's name was Leo. Alexander, euphoric from his success, decided to engage, not out of charity but pure arrogance. He pulled out $100 bill. "Rough night," Alexander said with condescending warmth. Leo looked at him. "Some are rougher than others." The lack of desperation irked Alexander. He wanted gratitude. "Let's make a bet," Alexander said, a smirk on his lips. "I bet $100 you can't answer a simple question." Leo studied his face. "What is it? What is the price of a single share of Berkshire Hathaway Class A stock right now?" It was an impossible question, designed to humiliate. A number from a world Leo couldn't conceive. Alexander smiled, triumphant. He had already won. Leo looked down, took a deep breath, and then locked eyes with Alexander. $421,722, Leo said, his voice clear, and 52 cents. Alexander's smile froze. He fumbled for his phone. There it was, the exact price. Exact. How could you know that? Leo picked up the $100 bill. Lucky guess. But Alexander didn't believe in luck. His wounded arrogance demanded satisfaction. Another bet, a real one. Alexander pulled out his car keys, a Ferrari. "I bet this against your $100. Leo looked at the keys. "No, it's a foolish bet." "Scared?" Alexander taunted. "You got lucky once. You know you can't do it again." Something shifted in Leo. "What's the question?" Alexander chose something even more obscure. What was the closing price, in Swiss francs, of Lonrho Group stock on April 17, 1989? Leo closed his eyes. A minute passed. The Lonrho Group did not trade in Swiss francs that day. It was in British pounds sterling, £11.04. Alexander went pale. He knew it was correct. He had lost his car. He placed the keys in Leo's hand. "Wait," Alexander begged. "Double or nothing, everything." Leo paused. "Everything?" "My penthouse, my accounts, my stocks, my company, everything I own, against the 100 and the car. One final question." Leo turned. "You would bet your entire life on one question?" "Yes." "And what is the question?" "You don't get to know. You have to agree first. Blind." Leo looked at him for a long time. "No, that's not a bet. It's a suicide pact." He started to walk away. "Please!" Alexander cried. "I have to know. Who are you?" Leo stopped. "The final bet is this, Alexander Vance. I will ask the question. If you answer correctly, you get everything back. If not, you hand it all over to me. You walk away with the clothes on your back. That is the deal." Alexander, seized by panic and adrenaline, agreed. A question from a homeless man. He could handle it. "I agree." Leo stared at him. "The question is this. What is the name of the woman who gave you your first haircut when you were 5 years old?" The world stopped. Alexander's mind went blank. He scrambled through the archives of his memory. He could recall the name of his first pony, the model of his first jet, the details of his first billion-dollar deal. But a woman? A haircut? It was a memory that didn't exist, A piece of irrelevant data discarded a lifetime ago. He stood there, paralyzed. I don't know," he whispered. Leo nodded. "Her name was Sarah. She had a kind smile and gave you a lollipop because you were scared." The memory, unlocked, flooded back. The small shop, the smell of talcum powder, the warm hands, the red lollipop. He had forgotten her, forgotten the simple human kindness. And in that moment, Alexander Vance understood everything. He understood he had bet his life on a foundation of nothing. He had accumulated everything and valued nothing. He had lost. Without a word, he handed over his wallet, his credit card, his driver's license, his penthouse key card. He transferred everything to Leo. He did it not out of obligation, but from a profound, terrifying realization. It was all worthless. When he was done, he stood in a $3,000 suit with nothing to his name. He was, for all intents and purposes, a homeless man. Leo took the items and then did something extraordinary. He took Alexander's expensive overcoat. "You won't need this where you're going," he said, his voice not unkind. Then he took off his own thin, grimy blanket and draped it over Alexander's shoulders. And then Leo walked away. He didn't look back. The news exploded. Alexander Vance, financial titan, vanishes. Homeless man assumes control. The media went into a frenzy. Leo, it was later discovered, was not just a homeless man. He had been a brilliant financial analyst who predicted the 2008 crash and made a fortune. But the stress and emptiness broke him. He walked away from it all, finding more peace in the simplicity of the streets than in the gilded cage of Wall Street. He had recognized Alexander Vance. He knew his type. He knew the emptiness inside. Alexander's new life was a brutal awakening. The suit was stolen. The blanket offered little warmth. He learned the hierarchy of the streets, the constant fear. He was invisible. People looked through him as he had once looked through them. He learned humility. He learned patience. He learned what it meant to be truly human. Months passed. A year. Alexander was a different man, thinner, harder. But his eyes had gained the same calm he once saw in Leo's. One day, in the public library, a man sat beside him. It was Leo. He was clean-shaven, dressed in simple, clean clothes. He slid a small envelope across the table. "I never wanted your life, Alexander," Leo said quietly. "I just wanted you to see your own." Inside was a new identity. A clean slate, a key to a modest apartment, a bank book with $50,000, not enough to be rich, just enough to start. "The company," Alexander began. "I dissolved it," Leo said. "The money funds homeless shelters, rehab centers. It's doing more good now than it ever did in your hands." Alexander nodded. He felt no anger, only profound relief. "Why?" Alexander asked. "Why give me a second chance?" Leo looked at him. "Because everyone deserves a chance to remember the name of the woman who gave them their first haircut. Everyone deserves to remember they are human first, and everything else is just stuff." Leo stood to leave. "The apartment is yours. The money is yours. Build a life this time, Alexander, not a portfolio." And with that, he was gone. Alexander Vance, the millionaire who lost everything on a bet, walked out of the library a new man. He had nothing of his old life, but he had everything that truly mattered: his humanity, his second chance. This story is a parable, a stark reminder that our worth is not measured by our wealth, but by our character. Alexander Vance learned the hardest lesson, that sometimes you have to lose it all to find yourself, and that leads to you. Right now, you might not be a millionaire, but you are making bets every day. You're betting your time on things that don't fulfill you, your energy on relationships that drain you, your happiness on acquiring more stuff. What is the question you couldn't answer if your life depended on it? What is the name of your own Sarah? It's time to stop betting against your own humanity. It's time to cash out of the empty game of accumulation and step into a life of meaning. The call to action is simple. Ask yourself one question right now. What are you willing to lose to finally, truly find yourself? Your answer is the first step on a journey far more valuable than any fortune. Start that journey today.